5, 4, 3,
Two.
2.
Sherry, post the info.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Keep the Mic On. I am one of your hosts, Simply Sherry. And if you are here, been with us since March, since the start of the quarantine, you know we get together every week at 7 o'clock on Sundays to have a one-on-one conversation with an artist on the different subjects and the different areas that interest us, the different hosts. I'll say it that way. My week is called From Behind the Microphone, where I take a moment and I get to know the artist a little bit better. I am going to take a moment and kick it to Charity Blackwell because her background has got me laughing right now tonight. I'm sorry, honey. It's
Hey, y'all. Sorry. Had to come through while I was at the grocery store. So I'm on this dairy aisle to just talk to y'all. Hold up. Get away from me. Get away. Get out of my way. Sorry, y'all. I'm here. I'm back. They're just bothering me. Yes, my name is Charity Blackwell, and I am 1/4 of the collective Keep the Mic On. And my night is called Art Therapy. So basically, my portion of this wonderful group and my night focuses on artists who use their platform as a way to leverage healing, whether that's for themselves and or people that they are performing for, and or both, and just kind of break it down, talk about how it's therapeutic, and hopefully provide some type of healing in that process. It's been a really awesome journey with these ladies, as they said. It's been something that we've been doing since quarantine started. It's been a beautiful and amazing thing to be a part of, and I've just been continuing to learn about phenomenal people through these women, because I mean, I be in a hole sometimes. I feel like I know people, but I really don't be knowing people. And so I'm really excited about tonight's feature and getting to know about their book and know about who they are as an artist. And I'm gonna just stop rambling and get back to my grocery shopping and pass it on over to the wonderful, the one and only Kaniki. Woo, 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 woo.
I always say every week I'm gonna take Charity with me so she can introduce me to everybody. I am Kaniki Jakarta. I am happily serving a 3-year term as the first Black Poet Laureate of Alexandria, Virginia. I am one part of this 4th awesome collective here. Like somebody said, we've been doing this since March and it's always amazing. My week is called Poets and Platforms, where I talk to a poet who provides platforms for the art form. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna, oh wait, before I said that, I'm going to say that if you are watching us streaming live on Facebook, hi Facebook, you should know that you're gonna get about 45, 50 minutes of this entire show. But if you want it all, we'll give you about 10 minutes to hit us up on keepthemicon.com or email us at keepthemicon@gmail so that you can get the Zoom link so you can be actually in the room with us. I'm going to kick it to our hostess for tonight, Danielle. They don't call her the girl genius for nothing.
See, this is why I need Kaniki to do all my intros. Also, I need like a Charity on my right hand side, a Kaniki on my left hand side, and a Sherry on my other side. I know that's 3 sides, but you got what I'm saying. Anyway, hey everyone, I'm Danielle Reed, also known as the Girl Genius. It's good to be back. This week we are doing Let's Talk About the Book, and I am super excited to talk to this week's feature. We have not met in person. However, look what I have. I was fortunate enough to get this right before I ran off into the sunset. And so I've had this with me. I've had a chance to read through it. I'm excited about tonight. So first of all, everybody kind of do the virtual applause for our feature for this evening, Michelle Lynette. They're all doing the, the Zoom applause. I am going to briefly read some of her bio, and then I will kick it over to her to do a piece or two if she so feels. So Michelle Lynette is a native Houstonian, so she is coming to us from Houston this evening. I should have said that too. So we're at a whole different time zone and all that tonight. Native Houstonian who has a beautiful love for the arts and people. She was introduced to the world of arts at an early age by her mother and grandmother, who had a pressing hand on her being part of various extracurricular activities and made her until she made her own connection with what she enjoys most, which was writing, fashion, and acting. In her adult life, she had performed on a few stages with AWJ Production, launched a concierge service that caters brides, pro athletes, entertainers, along with other projects that will be launched through her company, Michelle Lynette Enterprises. She is a multi-brand businesswoman who aims to attract and cater to the lovers of books, apparel, entertainment, and more. Aside from her serial entrepreneurship talents, she's given back to her community through her private company, EWC, which is Elders, Women, and Children, which she uses to do her philanthropic work. Good Lord, I'm tripping tonight. Sorry. In caring for them. She's a college graduate, family woman, and beloved friend, a woman after her own heart. She's a true gem and a woman to know. So I am going to, hold on, I'm going to take you off of mute and I'm going to turn this over to our feature to drop us off this. Hold on, please. Just make sure we are in the right more. Oh, you've unmuted. Wonderful. The floor is yours.
Hi, how is everybody? And I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. This is wonderful. This is a different platform for me, but I'm excited to share myself and my art, and along with getting to know you guys and you guys getting to know me. And I am going to share a piece from the book. And it's actually one of the bonus pieces that I've written, and it's entitled God Is. And I'm choosing to do that tonight because our world is currently in a really sad space right now, where a lot of things is going on, and people's spirits are rattled. They're not in their happy place, and we're having to find our way there. And so I thought that I would just use this just to kind of uplift the spirit a little bit while we're here. And so I'm going to go ahead and start. We are currently descending in a world where hope is no longer first, having to lean on a judicial system that puts the power of the mighty dollar first. Our families are struggling to maintain their households. It is no longer a color issue. It has now become a universal truth. We're being affected in many ways that is testing our faith, and who to trust better when the load that we carry is officially a heavyweight. There is no trust in your superior because they are just doing their job. So if you miss a few steps, you'll be getting tagged to be dismissed by the corporate mob. Men and women having to go home and look their children or each other in the face, wondering if the same place that they call home will be there from day to day. Our economic system has failed its crash dummies test simply because it is being controlled by 45, which has caused us to become a victim in this scandalous mess. Well, I am here to confirm that God is hope in the time of trouble, and there is no one else to turn to, especially when the people have no valid purpose, yet they still look down at you. God is merciful as the world continues to change. Looking at CNN News broadcasting another lost soul gone deranged. God is peace to a crying mother praying for her child to overcome an addiction controlled by the influences of the wild. God is love to a soul that has no understanding to the definition, due to his earthly parents selfishly, not realizing the purpose of their position. God is honesty when humans lie to you. His word never said that all would do right by you. Does it appear as though I'm speaking to your soul? We'll keep listening to the story unfold. God is understanding to the human mind, poisoned by the non-reality of this lifetime. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. We're both wandering on God's earth where we're supposed to be, pacing back and forth to make sure a critical decision is made right. Otherwise, if it becomes wrong, you could be laying your head on that concrete tonight. God is a father to the fatherless, apart from the good man. Since the shame on you male chose not to take a stand. Be strong in your faith. Even when the doors have closed, you are looking at the diary of this soul be told. From the possibilities to the sun dimming down at me, you and I are a part of this life's history. Now that I've delivered the message and I'm bringing it to the end, be hopeful in knowing that God is amazing, dear friend. But if you're still uncertain about life's pop quiz, then study no more. I've just given you a briefing of who God is.
I'm gonna do this so everybody can hear. I have the book, so I'm like kind of going with you. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful piece. And you're right, probably very, very, very necessary right now. So
Yes, I wrote the poem actually when Bush was in office, when we actually was going through a hard time back then when the economy kind of took a crash. And so now, as you can see, several years later, we're faced with a similar situation, only we're in a pandemic and it has intensified, our world right now.
I was gonna say, you ever notice that you'll have like, I don't know about you, I do the same thing where you'll have a piece where you're like, this feels like it's not gonna carry over. And then you come back years later and you're like, oh wow, I can't believe we're back here.
Right. Absolutely. And in my opinion, I just think it's the life cycle repeating itself. And
which is unfortunate, but yes.
yeah, it is. And as individuals, we just have to stay strong in our faith and continue to lean on the roots in which we come from, because our parents, our grandparents, they mold us into being these great human beings. And sometimes when it's time for us to leave the nest and venture off and live our own lives, life happens and we're kind of caught up in the shuffle of life. And then we have to either have those hard experiences on our own, or we kind of reflect back on the things that we were taught to kind of help get us through life. So, I've pulled from many different directions when I put this book together. So I'm hoping that with me touching on a wide range of things, that someone can connect to what I've written.
Which is good, because that's a great segue into the first thing I was going to ask you on the interview, which is actually what inspired you to write the book.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was inspired by Kaniki, actually. I have been writing since I was 18, and I've just had tons of material. Some of the stuff I did put in the book that's very old, and some stuff is very new. And so I've always wanted to write a poetry book, but I didn't have like a map of how to get there. So a mutual contact of ours put me in contact with her some 19 years ago, and I was inspired by her work. So it was a trip that I took to DC back in 2008, and I came to visit. We went to the Black Love Festival. I was really, really inspired, and I had lots of material just sitting there. And as soon as I got back home, it was September 2008 that I had my visit there. By December, we were, putting things together. January, February of 2009, it was in her hands, on her way to print. February, it was released into 2008. I'm sorry, 2008. So 2007, September 2007. Then we get to 2008, and of course, February 2008, it's released. So it was a very quick moment that it was done.
Apparently, because I can see her face now, she had no idea.
Yeah. But she knows that it's like this. I love being around her a lot. I learned a lot from her. She's like the big sister I never had. And so every time I come out there, I come back home with something that I've learned from her. I bring something back home. And so DC is like my home away from home.
Oh, I miss the availability to do poems and be in an environment with my DC family, my DC poets. I'm always in DC venues and things like that. And I happen to also catch it that you had a picture of SNL in there too. And that's my family. Love them to life. Like they are my absolute favorites. I live in Baltimore City now. So it was like, I'm jumping cities all the time. And this pandemic is just messing me up now. It's like, oh. So.
I know the feeling.
Hey, Asha, I see you. I see Asha over there. So aside from what else inspires you to write on or what else inspires you writing wise?
Anything. It can be anything. It could be something on the news. It could be a conversation that I've had with, you know, a friend who's going.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I said the same thing. Uh-oh.
Am I stuck? Nope. Nope, I think she's stuck.
Yes, she's stuck. Hopefully she will be right back shortly.
Yeah.
We apologize, technical difficulties. These things happen.
She's still here.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Not sure.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so she's dropped out. So she'll probably
Yeah, she's
be
dropped out,
right
coming
back
back
in.
in. Yeah, give us 1 second.
Yeah, so that's probably just a quick technical difficulty. Danielle, you had a chance to look at the book. Did you find a poem that really spoke to you, or that you felt was really something the world, that everybody needs to read?
There's a couple interesting things, and one of the things I'm going to ask her about is the poem. The book actually does. It's split up into. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's actually split up into sections. And like so there's different topics in here. One is politics. One is flirtation. There's love poems in here, Sherry. Betrayal, peace, pain, and then that bonus collection, which was that last one. So, I'm going to get around when we get her back. I'm going to see, you know, kind of, that's where I was going with the what else is inspiring moment, because I don't often see a lot of books where people can switch topics.
Okay.
It's like one track mind all the way through, which if that's what you're going for, is fantastic. Aha, we have her back, I think.
Yes. Here we go.
So. Let's see here, we got you back.
Crossing our fingers, the technology works for us.
Yeah, I know. I think we have you back.
Almost.
Almost. Give it a second. And
Sing.
We got you back. Yeah.
I was like, what happened?
I don't know. It froze and then it went away. And we actually, it's funny because we just had a follow-up on the question I was asking you, and we'll jump right back in.
Okay, sure.
No, yeah, the question I was asking was, I was asking you what else inspires you writing wise, and I said, and Sherry was asking me, was there something in here in the book that, you know, spoke to me? And I said, one of the things that I picked up on is that, and it was my next lead in, that you have this split into varying topics. And I said, it's rare that I see books like this, because what happens is people tend to, like, when they do books, kind of pull in things on like one subject, or things that, not necessarily one subject, but like there's a story arc where I like that you tackle different things in this one. So that's why I was asking, like my follow-up was like, what inspires you writing wise? Because you have a section on politics, but you also have a section of love poems, which That's Sherry's bag. She is the queen of love and erotic poems over there.
So the last thing that I was saying, I said that anything inspires me to write. It's absolutely anything, nothing specific. It can be something I'm watching on the news, a conversation that I've had with someone, my personal experience, something that I've seen out in the world while I'm moving around. I could be asleep, but be awakened by something, and I'll get up and I'll write, because sometimes I do have things that come to me while I'm asleep, and I'll wake up and I'll write about it. I just had that happen last week where I was sleeping, but something came to me while I was sleeping, and I got up, I wrote it, and then I went back to sleep.
Yep, I've had those moments.
Yeah.
I've had those waking me up out of my sleep. I've had those actually woken up and had stuff on the page and don't remember doing any of it. I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But sometimes it's there to be there. I know we were talking about timelines. How long did it actually take you to put this together?
Oh, 2 months.
That's not bad. As far as publishing timeline goes, that's not bad at all.
No, because it's actually a re-release of what I did 12 years ago. And the only thing that I did, I added 5 additional new pieces, which are the bonus pieces. And then I put some imagery there to kind of give people an idea of things that I've done since the last time I released it.
Yeah, y'all can't see this, but there's this, first of all, we're going to discuss this one right here. You do not look like you can be somebody's grandmother. A little bit. Not even a little bit. We're going to discuss Black Don't Crack. This picture is gorgeous. That baby's adorable. I saw this and I was like, there's no way. Baby is absolutely adorable. Like,
thank you.
That was a really good ad. So for those who don't have the book like right in front of you, like I'll tell you, there's pictures of her and the kids, and from holiday parties and on stage and Library of Congress tours. So it's like a nice little kind of follow up at the back. Right. I know, right? Sherry said Black Don't Crack. Exactly right. But it's nice because it kind of offers a glimpse into like sort of the background stuff, which we don't get. It's kind of why we do this show in the first place. One of the things about this show is we started it with the idea that, we were going to keep, things going during the pandemic. And on the back end, we tend to find out stuff about like people we've known maybe for years or maybe not. We tend to find out all kinds of fun stuff that we wouldn't have ever gotten just from having them on a stage. Mm-hmm. So I like that. That was a really nice add to the back of this.
Thank you. I thought that it would be nice because I didn't want to be, too traditional with that. And I'm my biggest competitor. So I'm always trying to take it up a notch when I do something. And I'm learning to be a little bit more gentle with myself because I am more of a critic than anyone else. And so I didn't want to do what I did the last time. I wanted to make sure it was nice. It was really something that people would enjoy. And I put myself in a position of, the buyer, and I thought if I wanted to buy this, what would I want to see in it? Or if I didn't know me, what would I want to know about this person? What makes this such a special anniversary edition for somebody I don't know? So that's why I wanted to take a walk into my past and then bring you to my current space, bring you to my future.
I say present, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, bring you where I am now. So I enjoyed it. I was trying to do something different and I'm glad I did. And so when I release my memoir next year, which will be around the fall, it's going up a whole nother level. And I'm working on that right now. So
well, when you get around to that, we plan to keep this show going even after we're all done with this. So all done with, quarantine and all that stuff. So we'll have to bring you back around for that. So I'll make sure I throw that on the calendar.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to come back. I would love to. I think this is a nice platform actually, and I hope it grows bigger than where it is now.
What's do you have a title for your memoirs yet or no?
I do. I do. I do. I'm really taking it up a notch. I really am. I'm gonna be tapping into my theatrical skills. So I am getting training for that because I am gonna do something very different. I've not seen it done before by any author. And if hopefully it doesn't happen before I release it, but if not, I can actually say I'll be first. So I'm looking forward to next fall. I really am.
I'm about to say I'm not asking for the trade secrets. I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to wait and see what happens like everybody else.
Yeah, I've actually started writing the memoir like 3 years ago. I started writing it. And so there's still more to add to it. And I'm gonna take my time with it. At first I was gonna rush it. I'm like, no, let me take my time with it. I want to take my time with it, make sure it's as perfect can be.
I was gonna say, and I love that you're literally segueing yourself into the questions, and it's just where it goes, which is, I guess, what does your I like to ask my authors, what does your process look like? Like your writing process. Like some of the people we've had on here, they were like, I have to block a dedicated amount of time to do XYZ. Like, and this is what I do to keep me on routine in the morning. And some of them are just like, whenever it happens. But when you have a project like either like this one or like the memoirs, like what does your writing process look like?
To be honest with you, I've tried the schedule with the writing. That doesn't work for me. Because I have my children are present and they're always grabbing at me. And to be honest with you, the best time that I write is at night. It's when everybody's quiet. I don't have to worry about my phone ringing. I don't have to worry about, the kids bugging me. It's just my quiet time. And that's granted that I haven't gone to sleep too soon. But even sometimes, if I do go to sleep too soon, I'll just get up in the middle of the night and I'll start and then I'll go back to sleep. But I don't have anything special. Primarily, if you kind of looking for it, I just have to say it's at night. It's at night.
I mean, it sometimes there is and sometimes there is not. I don't always have one. I do try to carve out time when I can, but that doesn't always work.
Right.
Especially for me, I actually write for a living. So I can't block out, right. Like blocking out time doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to write when I'm supposed to. So I have learned to just not even bother too much on that end. But people being curious, so
it's like I said, I've tried to do the blocking of time to write and it just doesn't work for me. It's always, Mom, can you do this? Mom, can you do that? Mom, I need you to do this. So if it's not that, my phone is ringing and I'm needed there. So I just decided I'll do it at night.
And you have so much stuff on your plate. I can imagine it's probably really hard to switch gears too.
No, at first it was. I felt all over the place. At first I did, but what I did was put a schedule in place that I can follow because everything that I do is different. Nothing's the same. And so I try to follow my schedule the way that I have it written out. And now that my youngest daughter is in school online, I have to work around that. But thank God that she's only online for half the day. And then the rest of the afternoon, I can have that time, for me. But I have a really nice support system with her father. And so we alternate weeks there. So I have a week to myself to really focus when she's not here. And then when she's here, then I split the time up.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna say, is it just the one that's online is it just the one that's in the house in online school?
No, my oldest daughter, she's in college. I don't worry about her. She's a young adult. She has her instructions on what she should do, and so she handles it. I'm pretty proud of her because she doesn't really need me that much, so that helps.
I'm almost there with you. Almost.
Yeah,
The
so
the
that helps.
the independent one who does do you. I don't have to block time off. Like
Every
you got
now and
this.
then, every now
Yeah.
and then she'll come to me, but for the most part, she pretty much does her thing, and believe me, she doesn't want me in her space anyway because she wants to discover her world as a young lady. So I'm trying to let her go a little bit. I'm trying to let her go because she's been my baby for so long, and so it's kind of hard to
And
see her
still. And
grow up.
still.
It's hard to see her grow up, but she made me a grandma, but I love that baby. I love my grandson. He's brought a lot of light into our home, and so he's a nice addition.
I'm cracking up because I don't know if you can see the comments. Like I know a couple folks are here. Like we all, couple of us have kids that are older, and then Sherry has the kids that are grown and out the house. And I know Asha's daughter just went to college, and so
Mm-hmm.
everybody's kind of in that space where they're like, yep, empty nest life. Woo!
Well, I thought I would have been an empty nester, but nope, I tried again. So my kids, they are 11 and a half years apart.
Sherry's like, nope.
No, we ain't had none of that noise around here.
Oh, don't worry. At some point, Sherry, no. Sooner or later, Sherry, you're gonna be somebody's grandmama too.
That's fine. Let me see. My oldest, we've talked about this, Danielle. My oldest will be 30 at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And my baby is 28. They've
wow.
waited this long. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But neither one of them are in any rush, so I'm good.
Yeah. I put it to you like this. If I could have gotten my grandson a little later, I would have been super fine with that because I had a big shindig planned for my daughter. Very big shindig for her. But hey, life happened for her, and she kind of changed that. And I was like, dang, I asked you to give me 20 years. That's what I asked you. And you couldn't even give me 20 days. So you're going to have to give me some time to come on down from how I feel, and then I'm going to get into it. And when I did calm down and, accept her new way of life, I love my grandson. He's just a joy to have. And my daughter, she's doing very well. I'm very proud of her. She's balancing her life. And like I said, she doesn't really want me involved. She's like, Ma, I got it. I got it. If I need you, I'll come to you. So again, I have to, train myself to take my hands off of her and let her be her young lady. Let her be herself.
I'm I'm laughing because, like I said, the comments are going are going all over the place.
Yeah.
He was saying her daughter's a senior in high school. Mine is a junior in high school. Asha's like 23 and 24. Can't imagine your gap. Bless your heart. I was like, So,
yeah. But
I am not in any way. Nope. We get down the road. We'll talk about we'll talk about kids 10 years from now. 10 10 years, maybe 12 while we at it.
Yeah. And so the good thing is they are watching me do my work, and I'm hoping that they will take something from what they see me do. They've let me know that they're proud of me. So I'm glad to hear that. And I just continue to do what I need to do on my end to be as positive as I can be in front of them. And even though I can't necessarily control their lives, I at least hope that something that I've done can be much of an influence for them.
I was about to say, based on this, I would say yes.
Yeah, I really hope so. So I've put a lot of my life on the back burner for them. And so I've circled back around to what I've wanted to do. So, as I mentioned in the book, I had a thing for acting, modeling, and, singing, but it didn't happen that way. It just definitely didn't happen that way. I did dabble back into acting though, when my oldest daughter was around 4 or 5 years old. I got back into it, and my first stage play was with AWJ Productions, and Vicki Winans was a part of that production.
I saw that.
It was a very nice experience, and I'm like, wow, my first stage play. I'm on the stage with a living legend in the gospel arena. That's dope. And she was so nice, so down to earth, very down to earth, and it was just fun. And I went on to do like a couple of more productions with AWJ. And after the last one, that's when I went ahead and released my book, and I kind of like ventured off into doing my own thing. But I'm still in touch with her though. She's gonna be training me for what I'm doing next year.
I was going to say good because, with everything, again, this is kind of one of those, here's this interesting moment where we're all in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one that if we do it right, we could pull some knowledge into the bubble with us.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, yeah, what am I doing for 6 months? Of course, no one knew it was going to be 6 months, but which is insane. I was going to say, so where am I? Lost my, hold on a second. First of all, before I say anything else, hey, Kaniki, how are we looking on Facebook time?
Looking good on Facebook time. We have about another 7 minutes or so.
Okay, I'm saying this because I'm going to encourage the folks that are on the Facebook to give yourself enough time to join us for live in the room for the back half of the interview. I'm gonna give y'all an extra 2 minutes today.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Extra 2 minutes. An extra 2 minutes. The thing, and I'll tell you, Michelle, the thing that I love about how we have this set up was we used to not do as we do it now, but we like the intimate space.
Mm-hmm.
This room. So we always encourage people that are, that are watching on Facebook to come in here, have the more intimate conversation, join us for the Q&A, get some additional background stuff, and also because once you do it, then you kind of get in on all the interviews.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what was I gonna say?
I like it. I really do. I like it. It's very personable. So it could allow people who are uncomfortable with being live in front of people in person. It can help them learn to be comfortable if they're able to get in person, because I'm that person who I will speak publicly, but it will take me some time to get there, kind of warm up. And you would think that I wouldn't be that way, being that I have been in front of people before on the stage, but it's a little different when the lights are down, you can't see anybody looking at you, and you can just do what you need to do, as opposed to when the lights are on, you see everybody watching you, and you have to kind of tap into yourself and just go for it. So most people don't believe that I have a shy side, because I can be very candid with people, but I do have one, and it can be kind of terrible at times. But eventually, once I start warming up, I just go.
You're looking at a whole group of extroverted introverts.
Really?
I promise you, all of us have that same issue. You're looking at a whole group of like extroverted introverts. It's like, I'm here for it. I'm here for the stage. I'm here for the to put the work out, but if I had my druthers, I'd be in the background.
Yeah, I agree.
It's why I write for a living in the first place. It's literally I can do the work, I can put it out there, and I don't have to be upfront.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you know, that's pretty interesting, because you would be surprised at how many talented people there is out in the world who really can bring it, but because they have that fear of stage presence, they kind of just stay back, and you don't ever know until later.
it's definitely a learned thing. It took me a while to figure out how to maneuver that world, especially coming from, here's the writer, I'm not the stage person. I don't think I started doing the stage thing or figuring out that part of how to maneuver stage until I started doing slam. I don't think. When I realized that was very important to what I did. It's an interesting world. It's an interesting world to maneuver. I love Asha. Asha said, this is the VIP section. This is definitely the VIP section. Given everything we just talked about, I guess here's a good segue into, do you have any, I guess, tips or tricks or advice that you want to give to people, either on the writing process itself or any of the other things that we talked about? Like we were talking about stage presence, like what's a piece of advice you give to somebody to take from page to stage or something like that? Anything that you want to impart on people?
Sure. As far as the writing process, I would definitely suggest that you can record yourself with some pieces and save those things and put it in a space where you can kind of refer back to it. Same thing with writing, write down everything in either a tablet or folder, type it up on a computer, save it somewhere on a flash drive so you can always refer back to it. So that way you can have those things, and then when you're ready to go to it, look over it, or if you want to do something with it, you have it available to you. As far as stage presence, if you're a person who kind of struggles with that, you can always get help with that. There are places that you can go. Theater is a good starting point there, because theater helps you with public speaking. A lot of people don't know that, but it does. Theater helps you with public speaking. And even if it's not theater where you want to go, you can probably get a public speaking coach, somebody that can help you overcome your fear of public speaking. And if you have something that you enjoy doing, but you don't have the wherewithal to do it, or the courage to do it, just change your thoughts about yourself and begin to understand that God gave you a gift for a reason, and you should do something with it. And don't worry about what other people are going to say, because people will express themselves regardless, and you let them speak. Because eventually they're gonna either catch on to what you're doing, or they're gonna fall off, and let them fall off. That's fine. But don't let anybody hinder you from doing what God has placed in you to do, because it's yours.
That's a really good word. That's a really good word. In the background, while we talk, what we do also, we find the gems in the conversation, and we make sure that we write those down so that we go back and put these videos together, because of course we record here, but we also record within the room itself, that where the good pull quotes and the good words are, and the good pieces of advice are. That's definitely the one. That's definitely a good word.
Yeah, because some people they allow the naysayers to stop them from pressing forward, because they are they've allowed a certain power to take over them that they shouldn't allow to take over them. And so I've had that experience, sometimes a little close to home, but you just continue. You continue and you let your work speak for itself.
That's a good word and a good time for me to jump in and be like, bye, Facebook.
Bye, Facebook.
But before we do, Michelle, tell Facebook how they can contact you and follow you and support you right fast before we.
I'm going to drop it in the chat while we're talking.
Okay, so you can follow me on Facebook at the Michelle Lynette, THE Michelle Lynette, and I am also on Instagram at the Michelle Lynette. I am on YouTube under the same name, the Michelle Lynette, and you can find me on LinkedIn just simply under Michelle Lynette. And make sure you follow me because, you know, you'll be surprised at what you'll find out about me. I'm always putting my hands into a few things and you just never know.
Fantastic. I have put all of your social media info and your the other things that you sent me, the website and all of that in the chat. So if anybody on Facebook wants to follow Michelle Lynette, you can do that. If you want to jump in the room and continue the conversation, back channel us, keep the mic on at gmail.com or back channel us on our Facebook page, and we'll make sure you get everything so you can jump in the room. All right, so everybody say bye to Facebook. We'll continue after this interview. And waiting. I'm waiting for it to go away. Go away. No, don't go away, but go away. Meanwhile, back at the ranch,